All right, how you guys doing? Hopefully you're having a good Thursday afternoon. Before we get started on our technical analysis on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, if you guys use Twitch, I highly recommend you go to King of Bybit, which I'll have this link in the description, as well as our Discord community that we're forming an awesome family. I really recommend you go and check that out. Um, you know, we strive in teaching you guys the tools of how to read your MACD, your RSI, your volume. So you can use these tools and you don't really need anyone else. You'll learn how to do these trades on your own, how to find low risk, high reward trades. It's never going to be a pump and dumps, scammy signals group. But we're forming an awesome community. We have quite a few members that are, honestly, we've just been pounding out the trades. So we've been killing it the last few days. Our trade setups are working, wonderfully. But if you would like to watch, basically watch us in action, please consider following us on Twitch at King of Bybit. We go live every day if I don't let you know beforehand at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But honestly, we've been going on earlier than usual, and we've been averaging at least 3 to 4 hours on a stream. So, we're forming an awesome community. The chat's really active. We accomplish quite a bit of stuff on our live streams. So, getting back to the technical analysis here, we're looking at Bitcoin. So far we keep having a little bit lower highs. We rejected the top of our resistance box at 12,400, and our most recent one, which was, well, was it yesterday? Just under 12,200. Before we ever go and we're looking at, possible setups, we want to identify our environment. So starting out here on Market Cipher B, you can see how we have a high, slightly higher high, and now we're having a dramatically, a lower bullish momentum. I don't want to call this off yet, but it's looking like we're starting to round this off. So, if we took our trend line indicator, this would be a steep divergence to the bear side. This is the bull momentum side. This is the bear side. The money flow is still really thick, so that's on the bull side right now. All hope is not lost on this. So like I said, we have to identify our environment before we think about, possible trade setups. Let's go to our 2 hour. We're showing the same thing, and we're actually building higher bearish momentum on this. So the 2 hours looking a little bearish. Go to our 1 hour. Once again, a clear divergence here on the bear side. This is the bull side, but you can tell we have a higher low, or we have our high, a lower high, a lower high. And now we actually shot to the bear side, and we're actually, our money flow's poking in the red right now. So the 1 hour's looking bearish. Our 30-minute, we're definitely on the bear side right now, but you can kind of see we're ever so slightly. If we use our trend line, this isn't super confident saying, hey, we're going to reverse here, because we've had about $120 pop since this move. So this might be it. So the 30-minute it's neutral. It's bearish to mostly neutral. Going to our 15-minute. Now this is looking a lot better. But once again, this move may have already played out. You can see you have a high on your bearish momentum, a lower high, and then another lower high. And it looks like we could be forming what is the beginning stages of our trigger wave. If you've watched our stream, we talk about it. This is a very bullish pattern. So if we look at this trigger wave right here, if we go out here on our 15-minute, you can see here on this trigger wave. This is only the 15-minute, so, Market Cipher is good at calling these trigger waves, but it doesn't know how high you're generally going to go. It just knows you're going to make a bullish move. So if we look at this trigger wave right here, you would have wanted to buy when the white starts rounding off this second little, let's just call it a blob. If you go right where we rounded it off, we had to jump from about 11,600 all the way to, about 11,900. So, we could be starting to form maybe a little bit of a bounce now. But remember, the higher time frames are going to have the most reliability and where the trend's going to go. So, if this plays out, it's very possible we could go back to about 11,800, maybe 12,000. And if we get away from market cipher B, we have a clear support line here at about 11,500. This one can now be deleted. And we have a pretty strong resistance box between just over 12, or about 12,000 to about 12,000. Let's just call it, actually, I need to move this down here. But it's about from 12,000 to about 12,300. There's a lot of resistance here. So if we zoom over here, we need to actually move this down just a little bit because we want the most accurate information. So between 12,000, more so 12,100 to 12,300, there's going to be a lot of resistance. And, we've talked about this the last couple streams. If you're bullish, we really need to break 13,200. We would invalidate this lower high. You can see where we have our high, a lower high, a lower high. This is just, I don't really want to count this one yet because, we could be playing out something like this. This little jump right here could be the equivalent of this one. And then this arm right here could be this little sign right here. So key numbers, to sum up Bitcoin real quick, this wick right here clarifies our support box. You can see how we had a perfect, we had a dip and we pretty much bounced right off of our support box. So your short-term support is 11,500 and you're going to have a nice support area between 10,900 and 11,100. I have pretty heavy buys between 10,800 and 11,000. So, if we, for some reason, have a pretty decent dip, I'm going to be hopefully catching this perfect timing. You can see how we have this support, how many touch points we have in this box. So, you have short-term support at 11,500. We have our support box between 10,900 and 11,100. And, you're much more, this is where our original trade setup was at 10,200. And this, this trade setup obviously worked out beautifully. So, that's Bitcoin right now. It looks like we're actually having a nice little jump right now. We're above 10.7 now. Sure, we're doing good here. All right, so Ethereum's kind of separated from the pack here. We're having a ton of resistance, or we're having a ton of issues breaking past this resistance between $230 and $235. If you've been watching our streams, more so on our Twitch live streams, you would know that if we can break and close a 1 hour above or a 4 hour above $235, we have a trade set up where we should honestly fill this gap to 200 and let's just say the 260, 265 area. We have we have this upsloping. We have this upsloping trend line that we've honestly started since the middle of March, and every time we bounce off of it, we have a pretty nice reaction to the upside. So looking at this now, you can see how we have multiple touch points on this now. We're hovering right above it. I need to go ahead and delete this. So you're going to have support, your more strong support between $200 and $205. We're going to have a short-term resistance area roughly at about $225, but just remember your major resistance box is between $230 and more so at $235. But if we can break $235 and close a 4 hour, at least a 2 hour candle, but more so if we can close a 4 hour candle above $235, I think we're definitely going to fill this gap to $260, $265. To identify our environment right now, the bearish momentum is building on the 4 hour. You can see this right here. This is much higher than what these two are. If we go to our 1 hour, we're showing the same thing, but we had a green dot pop up. So, these dots don't mean anything unless there's a confirmation. So it's going to take some more data. Maybe we can form a higher low. Or I guess it would be I guess if we can form a lower high here on the bearish side, something similar to, let's get our little marker out here. But if we can form something like this, and then maybe a lower high, or maybe if we do something like this, where we kind of branch off and then do that, we could be forming a trigger wave. Well, we'll see here. You can see on our last green dot, we went from $222 to $232. So it's just something to keep an eye on. So, both on Bitcoin and Ethereum, the bears are trying to build momentum, but on the shorter time frames, the bulls are trying to step up. They're kind of in final stand mode. If we break 11,500, I think we're most definitely going to test that green box, like on Bitcoin at, 11,002. But you can see here, we're actually starting to what looks like it's going to be a trigger wave. But this is the 15 minutes, so this could go up $5 and then go back down. We really want to see these lower bullish time frames. If you're on the bull side, you really want to see these shorter time frames leak into the longer time frames. So these, this pattern would be much more confirmed if they're going to keep this bullish momentum up. So, just to sum up Ethereum, you're going to have short-term resistance at 225, but you're going to have major resistance between 230 and more so at 235. With your support, you're going to have short-term support here at roughly just about $215, and your major support levels at $200 and $205. So we're going to look at XRP to sum up this static video, and this should be pretty easy because really nothing's changed. Looking at our 4-hour here, we have major support between 28 cents and 30 cents. Okay, so we have major support at 28 cents and then our psychological 30 cent. We do have a trade set up that if we can break 32.5 cents, we could go up and test this, 35 cent area. But, as we've been talking about the last few weeks, there's going to be major resistance between 36 and 38 cents. And if you look at past action, when you break below 36 cents, it generally takes at least 3 to 6 months to actually not just break above it, but close and build on top of that. And we're only roughly about a month into this. So, prior price action doesn't always dictate what's going to happen in the future, but just know there's going to be a ton of sellers between 36 and 38 cents. But looking at market cipher, the bears are trying to build some momentum here on the 4-hour. We're looking a little bit bearish. Go to our 1-hour time frames. We're more bearish to maybe neutral here. This blob is, about the same height as this one right here. Let's go to our 15-minute. And see here on the 15-minute, if we zoom up, you can see here how we have a clear bullish divergence here. So, this is pretty much the same as Bitcoin and Ethereum. The longer time frames are pointing bearish, but, anything below the 1-hour or the 30-minute, the bulls are really trying to stand up here. So, just keep that in mind. So, to sum up XRP real quick, you have very strong support at 28 cents and then your psychological 30 cent. You really need to break 32.5 cents and we could have a trade set up to roughly about 35 cents, but there's going to be a lot of sellers between 36 and 38 cents. So, that pretty much sums up our static video. I try to really condense these to be about 15 minutes or less. If you want a group that's all about self-improvement and helping you as a trader to improve your skills, and, we don't even talk about crypto all the time. We're basically not just a community, but we're forming a nice little family on Discord here. So I highly encourage you, if you want a supportive group that's all about helping you improve as a trader, please join that Discord, our Discord channel, which is King of Bybit, which I'll have that link below. And if you would like to see live trades about how we go about deciphering these indicators, in live action, we have an awesome active community in the chat. They always show up every live stream. Please consider giving my channel a follow on Twitch and, on YouTube. If you enjoy this kind of content, I do one static video a day. Please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you're not already. And guys, thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow.